Hello everyone, so welcome back. So today we shall going to tackle SQL interview question that was asked at the Google or the data analytics position. So let's jump straight to the question. So the question is asking to find company that have at least two users who speak both Swahili and French. Find the company that have at least two users who speak both Swahili and French. So we have this table here containing the details of the companies. So this is the details of the company. We have company one, company user ID one, and then you have company user ID two. And these companies, they have users. I mean, company ID one and then company ID two. So we have two companies generally. And this company, they have different users. So we have a user one, two, three, four, and user. So these are basically the user in company one, and then we have users in company two. So the user one in company one speaks two languages. That is Swahili and French, and then user ID two speaks only Swahili, and then user ID three speaks French and Swahili, and then user ID four speaks only Swahili. So the question is asking to find company that have at least two users who speak both Swahili and so in company one, which users speaks Swahili and French. So you can see we have user ID one speaks Swahili and French, and then also in company one we have user ID three who also speaks English and Swahili. So basically, company one has users speaking Swahili and has at least two users who speak Swahili and French. So basically, company one will appear in our final output. So let's go to company two. Company two, we have how many users? We have three users, 5, 6, and 7. So 5 speaks three languages, Swahili, French, and Portuguese. And then we have user 6 speaks French and Portuguese, and then user 7 speaks only Swahili. But the question is only interested to the user speaking only Swahili and French. So in company two, the only person or the user speaking Swahili and French are user ID 5. So basically in company two, there's only one person speaks Swahili and French. So and the question is asking at least two users. So basically, company two is not qualified because it only has one users who speaks Swahili and French, and the question is asking to have at least two users. So basically, company ID one is the one that qualifies or answers our question. So let's write a query so that you can get the final results. So our query will be, so first of all, we'll need to filter the users who speak more than one language. So first of all, let's get the number of language each user speaks. So for that, we're going to write select company ID, and then user ID, user ID, and then now we count the number, we count the language. So we can count and just put language here. Language. Yeah, so this one we can call it as number of language. Number of language. from. So from our table, so our table is company users. Just copy paste, and then we group by company ID and user ID. Copy. Yeah. So we can also filter, because we are only interested with the Swahili and French, we can filter only the user who speak those language. So for that, we will bring the where clause where language in so we are only interested with Swahili and French. So if we run this, we expect the number of user and their respective the users and their respective number of language. So for example, user ID 1, he speaks 2 language, basically, both Swahili and French. So for this also, we're going to filter only the people who speaks at least 2 language. So we're going to put having a count language. So we can just basically copy this count language is greater or equal to 2. So this one we can run it, and we can only have the user who speak more than 2 language. But the question is asking, you want the companies that have at least 2 users. So for example, company ID 1, he has user ID 1 and user ID 3 speak at least 2 speak both Swahili and French. And then you have in company ID 2, he only has 1 user, that is 5, who speaks both Swahili and French. So for that, we can group by company, and then we count the number of, and then we count the number of users. So for that, we can, so let's use subquery. So we're going to write select company ID, and then we count, can put just 1, then this one we can call it as number of users from. So we're using this table from this table, so we can put bracket, and then here we put bracket, and we can alias it as SAK, and then we group by company. We group by company ID. Company ID. So this will give us the number of users speaking Swahili and French in each and every company. But we are interested with the company that have at least 2 users. So company ID 1 has two users and company ID 2 has only 1 users. So we're going to use having to filter only the company having number of users greater than 2. I mean at least 2. So to say having count greater or equal to 2. So this one will give us there. So if you execute this, we'll only going to have company ID 1, the company that has at least 2 users speaks both English and French. So if you found this video helpful, kindly comment on the topic that you want me to cover in the next session.